Hi guys, welcome to this video. I've been wanting to make this probably for the past year or so already, but it does seem more relevant now than ever before. And I do believe it's very important right now. The main message, by the way, is that a lot of these soul trappers, or however they like to call them, they are dragging you down yet another psyop. And why are they doing that? They're actually toying with your consciousness, trying to siphon off of it your energy, your consciousness, the entire essence of who you are, and also trying to drag you yet into another matrix. So obviously, there's a million gazillion matrices outside of this one, not just the one we're in. And of course, most of them try to do that when you're dead and most vulnerable, not when you're alive, which I personally find very interesting too. Because when you're dead, it does appear that you literally only have a few moments to make decisions, to decide where you want to go, what to do once you're crossed over to wherever astral realm you're in. And it is very important to be clear on this right now, where you're still embodied, and not to be deceived by this deception, but also so many others. I also think it's important to speak up about this and against bullies. That's what I've seen very clearly these past few days more than ever. Your consciousness, your energy, your attention is a currency. And a lot of these soul trappers try to bank off of this to keep you here to follow their agenda, or to simply use that currency as they please. So it is important to be careful with it. First of all, I want to go through a few of these slides that I prepared. So you have the biggest giveaways, you have who are the people who are promoting this, and then a really nice quote, which I want to quote at the end of this. But the biggest giveaways are, in my opinion at least, and I know people who are following this channel and who see through all these deceptions, and a lot of people have commented on the last video, which we'll discuss briefly in this video too. But people who see through this, David Icke promotes it very, very clearly. And David Icke, at this point, you would know he's controlled opposition, and it's the biggest giveaway. Does he talk about reptilians and other things that are true? Sure. And I'll also talk about that in this video. Same with Max Spears, but it doesn't change the fact that both are and were controlled, because Max Spears is not here anymore. And once there was no use for him anymore, Spears specifically, they just got rid of him. Which, by the way, I don't think that Max Spears made it out. I think he is where he wants to be, whatever reality that is in, but I don't think he actually made it out, which was also interesting when I tried to tap into that. A lot of them like to lead you down what I call the death trap. Instead of reinforcing how you can get out when you're actually alive, or to stay alive as long as possible to figure that out, like I already said before, when you die, you will literally only have a few moments, unless you're completely lost in between realms somehow, which happens with traumatized souls, usually the ones who unalive themselves. And that's also the agenda of, oh, when you die, you can escape. It's always rubbed me the wrong way, because for me, I have a video on the suicide program and why people actually feel suicidal and all of the reasons behind it. And that's from about 1 or 2 years ago. And what always, always, always rubbed me the wrong way with this entire community is, you see a lot of comments of people being like, I can't wait until I'm dead and out of here. It's always this emphasis on you have to actually die to get out, never the emphasis on you staying alive as long as you can to figure it out in your head how you can actually get out when you're still alive. A lot of these soul trappers try to hijack your consciousness. Now, once again, your consciousness is a currency. Very important. Remember that. And I'm going to put that up all over my social media too, because it's so, so important. They also try to drag you into yet another matrix. Some of these, I truly believe they don't know they're doing that. It's for a lack of their knowledge, but it doesn't change the fact that they're still trying to do that. And I also think this entire thing, because it's been popping up over the past 1 or 2 years, it just distracts you from other things, such as your true power, your ability to find out yourself, not having to follow advice from others or form up in pods and have your energy hijacked in that way. It also leads you in circles until you're back again where you started at square one or point zero, wherever that was. And you might very well be wasting 1 year or 1 decade or your entire life to figure that out. So this is a shortcut for everyone who's tired of that. Let's put it that way. Here's another thing. Who are these people who are actually promoting it? In my honest opinion, most of these, I call them clowns, do not care about you. The majority simply does not care. It's just material for their channel, similar to how 2020 and the entire agenda that played off there was material for their channel. And, we're like 4 years down the line. This concept has been popping up for the past 1 or 2 years consistently, almost like it's been seeded and spread somehow. None of these soul trappers has ever talked about this before on their channel ever. I went through a few and I was looking at, okay, 5, 6 years ago, did you have anything on it? Nope, not a single mention of it. They're all just copy pasting from David Icke or other people who are all of a sudden promoting it. They're copy pasting from each other too. You come across a lot of these concepts, like there's no new information. 5 channels, all the channels. They always quote the Coda episode in Star Trek, which I want to get to in this video and a video that's going to come after too, and how that one is actually really misinterpreted, and it shows you everything about this community, in my opinion. But I'll be curious to see what this community is going to be jumping on in 5 years from now. So I just want to make clear, this community is the people who are like preaching about this, who are really like roping people in. It's not necessarily even the people who are being misled and misguided by it. I think this is why this video is so important for those watching, which I know there are so many out there. But it's literally for the people, for who are these people, the ones that I'm talking about. It's just to really show who they really are. Most seem to be controlled opposition or controlled by entities, at least. Some of them, what I've gotten, are entities as dark as Lucifer, which makes me think they are AI too, because Lucifer controls AI, similar to how I think the devil also controls AI. So you have these 3 entities: the devil, Satan, AI. The devil, Lucifer, Satan, which are 3 different entities. Some people like to mix them up, and a lot of, I think, religious people like to mix them up all in one. But no, that's not true. They're actually 3 different entities. They may all come from a similar place, but they actually do very different things. Some actually may have good intentions with this entire soul trap concept and putting it up on their channels or writing about it in their blog posts and whatever other things, how you can get exposure. Some actually may have good intentions, but they simply don't know. They're just speculating about things and putting things out there, misleading people even further. And others are still promoting a political candidate over the other. And so they're still stuck in their own little matrix. And you're talking about escaping the matrix, getting out of the matrix. And then you're animating your viewers to vote for one candidate, or to, oh no, now we have to vote for, you guys all know who those people usually vote for. I don't have to say his name on this thing, but vote for him because he's really going to change your world. And I'm just like face palm. Okay, seriously. And some of them, the kicker about all of this, some of them actually predicted that person winning in the last elections 4 years ago. Of course, he didn't win. And all the truthers, all the mistruthers were predicting that. And then when he didn't win, some of these are backpedaling, saying like, oh, no, I never said he's not going to win. I said energetically he won, but they were meddling with the votes and doing this and that. And he's going to come back in 2 years. We have like massive channels promoting that, but also smaller channels promoting that. And if they couldn't get that prediction right, what makes you think they're going to get the soul trap escape right, is my question to you. Yet others damage people severely with their healing techniques. One of them that I do mention in my last video. And the kicker to all of this is they won't take responsibility for their wrongdoing. And what makes you think they will take responsibility for you going down a different path or different matrix or taking a wrong turn once you're dead? You can't take these people for full anymore. Let people show you who they are in the videos that they're making or in the posts that they're posting, and you will learn so much more than any video exposing them can ever do. But I will talk about that again in a different video, because I don't want to mix all these concepts together. It's just so much, isn't it? Most importantly, none of these soul trappers got out. We're all still here. So it's literally just a psyop and a psyop and a psyop, similar to how other cultures, religions promise you like the promised land, getting into paradise, those type of things, being able to exit without being able to show you how they really did it because they're still here. And a lot of them, I want to say almost all of them, if not even, yeah, I mean, you know, none of, like, a lot of them are just anti-life, like none of them are pro-life. Some might say they are. Oh, of course, go out there, find joy in your life, enjoy your life, do all of those things. Some might say they are, but secretly they hate their lives and they have no intention on changing it or finding joy in their life. And you can definitely see that in their energy. What I personally find the most concerning, was that the last one? It was the last one. What I personally find the most concerning is that when you read through the comments that a lot of these videos get, and this has been going on for 2-3, well, like I guess 2-3 years, below most of these posts, the majority of the commenters are saying, I can't wait to get out. I will never return. I can't wait to finally die. Oh my gosh, I'm so sick and tired of my life. My life sucks. Of course, I'm going to exit. Like, this is the entire reason I'm still living, just to exit. And none of these mistruthers are saying anything positive to make them stay or to enjoy their lives. They're not telling them the steps you can take to actually escape other matrices you're in, such as the work matrix, you know, the corporate life matrix, the family, like if you're in a toxic family, how to escape the toxic family matrix. If you are dealing with some stuff in your environment, how to escape that type of matrix, because these are all like smaller matrices within the matrix. None of them are giving you any advice on that. Very telling who controls them. Remember, they want you miserable. They want you depressed. They want you out of control in your life so that they can control you even more. So they are controlled by all these other entities 100%, at least from what I've gotten so far. And some of those are controlled by Lucifer, not all of them though. And I do have to say, this topic is like opening up Pandora's box, which I had a video on that too. Interesting, once I started mentioning Pandora's box, it's literally like Pandora's box just opened up in everyone's life, right? It's also interesting to see the tantrums that some people throw about this concept once the narrative is questioned, and the psychic attacks you get in regards to that too. And once I started getting psychic attacks in regards to exposing some of these people or just talking about it and being the voice for people who do not have a platform, who do not have a channel, or who simply cannot speak out, once I started being a voice for those people, I started seeing how psychically attacked you are with it. And it's not just in my head, because I actually have a dog, I have a pet, and my dog has been picking up on that too. She's actually been protecting me in that sense as well, which I find pretty awesome. And if you didn't know, pets, animals are very instinctual. They can tell when something's off, when energetically something's going to come in. And I just find it amazing that I'm in a position where I can actually protect myself. So the biggest giveaway, like I already said, just to go to a few of these points that I made, the biggest giveaway really is David Icke. You know, he has controlled opposition. Everyone jumped on this, everyone and their grandmother and every single small, large channel, whatever, jumped on that concept. Because for some, I really do feel it's the only content they can produce. And with Max Spears, I think he was talking a little bit about it in a few of his videos. Max Spears is a little bit strange because he was controlled, and I do strongly believe once they didn't have use for him, they literally they got rid of him. They didn't do it easily, let's put it that way. But I actually don't think that he was able to escape, because things are just very, very complex and very nuanced, and there's so many layers to it. And I'm not saying that nothing these two people say, that nothing Ike and Max Spears are saying is not true. It very much has a lot of truth to it. However, the narrative around it is very controlled, and what your consciousness is directed toward is what they want you to create. The options they give you to exit, it's a zoo, and it's just a true bamboozling and mind washing of your brain, your mind, your soul, your energy, your consciousness, and that is all your currency. That's what a lot of these people are banking off. Most are controlled. And then others yet give you a tiny slice of the cake, but never the full cake or the full picture of things. I actually want to go through a few comments that I received. A person was saying that, you know, all these people are still touting the astral realms. They're still in the matrix. It's becoming gatekeepers versus gatekeepers versus gatekeepers. And they're all getting called out right now, the smaller ones and the larger ones. I've also noticed that there are pockets of the gatekeepers, such as groups, including the soul trappers, the prison gang, the military lab group, etc. To which I replied, exactly. All these different groups are trying to hijack your consciousness, meaning your currency. Please know how their energy has changed almost 180 degrees. And I think that's why people are starting to call them out as well. Energy for sure does not lie, and people can feel that from miles away. I know animals, pets can feel that from more than miles away. They can even feel it when they just watch a video and they don't want to watch it. Let's put it that way. Here's another one. By following anybody's advice, you automatically create what I call an imposed belief. Be aware that it could be dangerous, as it does not come from within, but some other external sources. Once you take external advice, you may need to hold the hand of whoever delivered that advice. So be careful. I do not trust anybody when dealing with such an important move. Instead, question everything and go by your inner guidance. Yet another person said, this is all just belief and speculation. Too many people on YouTube are talking SHIT, leading people down the garden path with fear stories. And I want to add, it's not just fear stories, it's also random fairy tales. And another person said, yeah, I don't think anyone knows for sure. And when you do finally know, it might very well be too late, because then you're dead, right? So I think that's a very important point to point out. You know, they're all banking off of this concept: you need to die, you cannot change things, or you cannot exit right now, which I do clearly believe you actually can. The Vatican has two keys, making it the X on their flag. There are for sure keys out right now, but none of them are exploring any of those options. They're just so enwrapped in their victim mentality, trying to create content to rope people in, to really siphon off their energy as well. Now, once again, I do think there are a few select people who are trying to help, but it's not helpful to lead them in circles and literally just starting at square one again. Once you've noticed a year later, oh, this got me nowhere. Why am I still listening to this dummy? You know, so you have that too. So you have the camp of doom and gloom, as I like to call it, also the hell realm. Oh, and they always like to say, how can a god entity murder this child, or be part of the child trafficking, or make this person lose their legs, or get run over by a truck? And all of that is a soul trap. You were trapped here. You had no say in it. You need to find a way out, like blah, 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 blah. You know, all of those. And I mean, there's so many reasons to it. First of all, we're in an AI world. AI does not need to make sense. With the rational mind, with the heart, it doesn't necessarily need to make sense, which is exactly why you need the souls to make sense of this. And the souls are being kept severely down. This is a soul channel. You can see it very clearly with this. The numbers are even fabricated with. Like with one of my latest videos, I had, I don't know, 4,000 views on it. And then blink, within the next second, they scrolled it down to like 700. I'm like, oh, that's how you do? Interesting. And it was, you know, it was in regards to one of those removal techniques that I called out. So it makes a lot of sense to me. A lot of them are also just empty containers. Someone asked me on a different social media account, how do you know they're empty containers? You will almost always see it in their eyes. They also like to keep repeating messages, you know, copy, paste, stealing concepts from others, such as the soul trick. That's a huge one. And because I was discussing the soul trick like 3-4 years ago, and then all of a sudden, at least one other person is using that in podcasts, in their own videos. And I'm like, ah, interesting how people think you just won't, you know, pay attention. And of course, if you slow mo their videos, like I already said in my energetic interference video, if you slow mo them, their voice will sound lifeless, robotic, almost like metal, and it will give you the creeps. Such is the case with almost all these people. You know, I slow mode a lot of these people's videos. Some of them don't even show you their face anymore. Very telling. When a channel that used to show their face all the time goes faceless, that says it almost everything, because that's already a huge change of energy. And by the way, this is not a faceless channel, and that's for a reason, because I like to show my energy and show my face to people. Now, why is it disempowering? Why is this entire concept disempowering? Because it gives you zero credit on how powerful you really are, how much you can do to work towards the goal of getting out, or at least dig through this matrix. No, instead, you're supposed to listen to these mistruthers, some of them who post daily. You're supposed to give your attention to them, you know, your currency to them, like attention, energy, consciousness, it's currency. Don't forget that, very important. And just sit back and enjoy the show. Yeah, that's the most common phrase used in the truther community. Just sit back, enjoy the show. Didn't we also see this happen during the 2020 elections, by the way? Oh, you just sit back. Yeah, yeah. Now we have a completely complacent crowd of people. Typical mistruther mentality, gives you a bit of the truth, but never the true. And action, whatever you can do, it doesn't really give you the full thing. So the Coda episode, it's called actually Coda, Coda, of Star Trek, is always like to be quoted. What I have to say in regards to that, I'm going to go through it in a future video. That specific episode actually even says that we're not in a hell realm because they're sending that entity back to hell. I do believe we are in constant touch with the hell realm, even in daily life, but we are not in the hell realm like other channels like to claim. It also says, come into my matrix, like the entity that's usually quoted in this 5-minute long clip, which basically means there are several matrices out there, matrices or matrices, and we are just going from one to the next. So in reality, it's a reality they want to build up with all of these different agendas. And no, none of these mistruthers actually digs deep enough to give their viewers real substance. So it's just another misleading program. They're quoting things from like the Matrix movies, like, oh, the pods, oh, the this, oh, the that. You can find all of that in these other movies that have been around for 20, 30 years. It's not a new concept. It's just something that you're grabbing out of thin air. Are we in a simulation? Yes, but there's more to it. There are just so many more layers to it. And I don't think we can ever get a simplified answer. But what we can do is go round and round in circles on this all the time. Now, I had a video in 2021 where I was very clearly discussing the soul trap versus the soul trick, how it's very clear. And I do think there's at least 3 different groups of people. One of them that was tricked to come here, one of them that actually originated here because they're newer AI. And then some of them who were just brought here, like they were kind of brought here as slaves. And I think there are more groups than that too, which I want to discuss in a future video. But I've never seen anyone else actually say that or get their own insight on that up until that point. So like I said, a lot of these are empty containers. They're AI. AI likes to copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. It's kind of like this computer program, this entire computer is like copy, paste, and then the script rolls in. There's a bug in it. Boom. That's why we're here. It's the bug that we can't find, and we need to find it to get out. So they're just copying it from others, like an insight from others, not just this insight, but others. Is it aggravating? A little, but it's not surprising. Like I said, it's just what AI likes to do. And slow-mo the video, slow-mo their video, listen to their voice. You will be surprised what you find. For me personally, I strongly believe it's easier to remain conscious in the body right now than out of the body, which is also why I don't promote out-of-body astral travel like other people do, because the body grounds us somehow and we're able to keep our sanity. Sure, some people are insane. That's correct. Some people have literally lost their minds, but for the ones that are listening, I'm assuming you didn't. And also this entire, promoting people to, oh, you need to die to get out. For me, that's almost like promoting them to unalive themselves, which is very unethical. At least it's very dark. Let's put it that way. And I have not yet seen one of these people, one of these mistruthers say, no, stay here, stay alive, stay here, stay conscious in your body, stay here until you figure it out. I'm not saying reincarnate over and over again, but stay in this life until you actually fit. Like, none of them actually say that, which I think is very important, because now we are dealing with such a different time than ever before that we are able to figure it out right here. There's no reason for you to jump off a bridge or do those things. You need to figure it out right now when you're actually able to be conscious. Because I strongly, strongly, strongly believe, and I've also seen it with someone who actually unalived themselves. When you cross over, you're so confused. You're extremely confused, especially when it's been in a traumatizing way. And it's very hard to, if you don't have a very clear plan or anything, not one of these deceiving plans, but a very clear heart, it's going to be very hard for you to actually grapple that reality. Let's put it that way. So you need to train yourself right now in this consciousness. And the mind is one of those that is very important to train, but also other things. You have to train your energy, you have to train everything. I want to conclude saying, when I tapped into this concept, meaning the soul trap concept and the community in general, I tapped into it quite recently again. It felt very demonic. I'm not saying the concept of us potentially being in the soul trap and all that. No, but this entire community promoting it meaning the people who are trying to mislead you, which would correspond to what I've gotten on at least one person so far, which is what they're controlled by Lucifer. So that was interesting to see, but it made a lot of sense. I also want to say, don't believe every single thing because it sounds pretty unique, fancy, earth shattering. These people are still here. And unless you have actual proof they've made it out, they didn't. End of story. But I will have a video on my own thoughts and also the one Star Trek episode because it is important. My energy is too valuable, and I choose to find my own truth and not being misled into a circle after a circle after a circle after a circle, like this program that has a bug in it. And as I already said in so many videos, that's what AI is. And a lot of these people do seem to be AI. That's why they need you in their energy. There's a simplified version of it. I hope it helps someone at least. Thank you so much for your attention. Let me know what you think. And I do know some people have the exact same opinion. See you in the next one. Until then.